The first All Black squad for 2021 is out. And there are a lot of new names that we need to talk about. Let's get into it. So it's that time of year again, the first All Black test, less than a month away. It's exciting. We've got Fiji and Tonga here, and of course the Rugby Championship on the horizon as well. This is the first look at the All Blacks team for the season, and yeah, there's some very interesting names, and we're going to go through one by one. We'll start in the hookers. Asafo Amua, Dane Coles, Cody Taylor. Those are your three hookers. Your props, George Bower. Ethan de Groot is the new name, debuting, aged 22 years old. Nipo Laulala, Tyrell Lomax, Angus Tavo, Carl Tuanaafiaki, if I said that right. Moving into the locks, got Barrett, Brody Retallick, Patrick Tuipulotu, Tupo Vai, Sam Whitelock, captain, in place of Sam Kane. So your captain is Sam Whitelock. Moving into your loose forwards, Ethan Blackadder, debut, Shannon Frizzell, Akira Ioane, Luke Jacobson, Dalton Baliki, Adi Savia, and Hoskins Satutu. Moving into the backs, we have Finlay Christie, debut, Aaron Smith, Brad Weber, Bowden Barrett, Richie Mwanga are your first fives. Into the midfield, Brayden Eno, David Havili, Rico Iwani, Anton Leonard Brown, and debut for Quinn Tupaia. I am very excited about that. Geordie Barrett starts your outside backs. George Bridge, Will Jordan, Damian McKenzie, and Sevu Reese. That makes up your first All Black team to start in 2021 with 4 new All Blacks, those being Ethan de Groot from the Highlanders and Southland, Crusaders and Tasman Lucy, Ethan Blackadder, son of the former All Black captain, Todd Blackadder, I believe, Blues, Finlay Christie makes the side, and Quinn Tupaia from Chiefs country. That is a very interesting team. There are a few names there that I debated with myself about, but I wasn't quite sure it was going to happen. Though, and those had to be Quinn Tupaia, Finlay Christie, and Ethan de Groot. You know that they're all quality players, and they've all lifted their game in 2021, and they thoroughly deserve it. I just wasn't quite sure if it was going to happen or not. George Bower as well. He's been in the All Blacks before, but he's taken his game to another level with the Crusaders, but he's in there. And obviously the question mark was whether a question mark for some, I guess, whether Bowden Barrett would stroll straight back in. What was going to happen with TJ Perenara? Of course, he played a club game during the weekend, so I'm assuming was eligible, but he's not in the team. And I wasn't sure about Brad Weber, because the jury is still out on whether Brad will be staying in New Zealand. But hey, if he's in the All Blacks, man, there's every chance that he's putting pen to paper again. I am super stoked for the likes of Quinn Tupaia. I've covered him here in the Waikato. He's a really good dude. He's a solid young man, and he really has sort of clicked into gear this year. And just prior to his injury and Super Rugby Aotearoa, he was running the ball well. He was explosive. And you know, the All Blacks in the midfield, they do have a little bit, not an issue, but with Ngāti Mapi overlooked, they don't really have that power brute running midfielder that just charges at the opposition. Leonard Brown isn't really that player. Quintu Paya, is he the guy to do that? Potentially, if he puts on some size. I mean, he's put on a little size. Anybody who knows anything about the Chiefs will tell you that Tupaia really put on some size over the off season. Not only that, he got faster as well. So the trend is kind of looking good for this young man, and if he can, maybe he's the guy. I mean, looking at that midfield, you've also got, you know, Ioane. He can really inject when he gets the ball in the right places. Leonard Brown, to me, is more of a setter-upper, a distributor, if you will. He's got pace, he can break the line, but I think he's the one that opens the gap for the other players. And, you know, with Havili and Enor in there, maybe they've got to take their power game to the next level. Maybe. Of course, Barrett and Mwanga, your first five. Damien McKenzie can always play there if he needs to. And Jordy Barrett named as an outside back suggests to me that he may not play in the midfield. I wouldn't mind seeing the All Blacks try him there, maybe for a test or two. And I think if you're going to do it, you maybe do it against the Fiji. Do they want to risk him running at those big guys? I'm not sure, but that's probably when I would do it. But yeah, solid backline. And no, the only surprises again for me, probably Quintu Paya and Finlay Christie. I was hoping they'd get in, but I wasn't quite sure if either of them would. So good to see them do that and really take a bit of a punt. But it's clear looking at this midfield that they don't at the moment. And I really think out of all of them, Quintu Paya is the guy to do it. They don't have that blockbusting, you know, charge up the guts sort of guy. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. In terms of the forward pack, I mean, you just can't argue. Even de Groot's been a solid forward this year. He deserves it, the big man, and he's only young too, you know, 22. And he is progressed a lot this season, and you know, the real test will be obviously what's to come in the All Blacks and how many chances he gets, but also what he can do in the next 12 months. You know, we all see those players who kind of burst onto the scene and then they drop off a wee bit in year two. Be really interesting to see how the group handles that next year. Ethan Blackadder's been around now, and he's impressive. One name here that is missing is Cullen Grace. Now, is he potentially injured? I'm not sure. But you know, that was another one that I sort of had. But you know, you've got a coin flip there. Tutu. I don't know if you can say Tutu should make way for Cullen Grace. But you've also got Savia, who has been named. You got Dalton Papali'i, who deserves it. You got Jacobson, who deserves it. You got Akina Ioane, who deserves it, clearly. And Frizzell, I mean, he's just a tank. He's an absolute tank. Also, very interesting, no Paddy Parkinson is another one. So he'll be going to play for the Māori, obviously. And, yeah, so there are a few. There are a few that have missed out. Dane Coles getting another season with the All Blacks. I mean, you know, you can't deny his capability. He's the most experienced prop they've got. I just wonder, you know, was there room for another? I don't know, because who is it? You know, is it Samasoni Takiaho, perhaps? You know, was he in the thinking? I'd say he was, but yeah, I'm just going through. No other real surprises for me. Naitoa Akoi potentially was a locking option, as is the likes of Paddy Parkinson, and you know, he can be a Lucy as well. Yeah, I mean, Savia, if he's fit, you play him. So really, Dalton Papali'i. So who's going to be your 8 here? I mean, Luke Jacobson's been playing there all year. Hoskins Tutu can do it. They can all, at a push, you'd say Akira Ioane can do it. Papali'i's probably your traditional 7. Savia can play 8 as well. So yeah, I'm very, very excited about the side. It's a bit of a double-edged take. I mean, yeah, there are some surprises there, but considering, I think the way that the All Blacks, and I wrote about this over on Rugby Pass during the week, they want to play, particularly those loose forwards, I think they really want those loose forwards to be somewhat versatile, and the ones that have missed out maybe aren't versatile enough for Ian Foster's liking. We know that I've just said that Luke Jacobson can play 8 if he needs to, and you've got guys in those locks that can also, at an absolute, at a push, they can go out as well. So the one that I think is probably under most pressure in terms of this forward pack, it would have to be for me your Tupou Vai and your Tyrell Lomax. I haven't seen enough out of them this year that I like, and even at a push, Angus Tarvell. I mean, yeah. But we've seen what all the rest of them can do. Shannon Frizzell was an absolute tank earlier in the year for the Highlanders. So yeah, I'm really excited about the team. There's a lot to talk about there, and it's going to be very interesting to see what combinations they go with, particularly in that opening test against Tonga in less than what, 2-3 weeks time, 2 weeks from now, something like that, something or the other. Anyway, let me know what you think of the All Blacks squad. It's time to get into some test rugby. I'm looking forward to it. Until the next time, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. Ring the bell so you get reminded as well. Give a thumbs up and let me know what you think in the comments. We'll see you soon.